afternoon and welcome to the 2020 running of the Climate Competition sponsored by the Green for Growth Fund. My name is Lloyd Stevens. I'm a director at Finance in Motion and we are the advisor to the fund. I'd like to take a moment to welcome all of our online participants as well as our partners, our esteemed jury, and of course all the finalists who took the time to make submissions for this competition. We're very interested to see what they have to say in presenting their ideas. Of course, this year is taking place online. Normally this would have been an event held in Frankfurt, but given the COVID crisis, we are taking advantage of that to run a relatively carbon neutral event. So I think it's very much in line with the mission and spirit of the fund. Just a few words about the GGF. The fund was founded about 10 years ago, and we have already financed over €1 billion in measures in our countries of operation. And these support activities like energy efficiency, renewable energy, and also resource efficiency. So we'll see those themes today as the finalists present their ideas. The fund also has a technical assistance facility that sponsors the transfer of know-how, including events like the climate competition, which is actually sponsored directly by the TA facility. But that's enough from me. I'd like to go ahead and introduce Elvira Lefting. She's a managing director at Finance in Motion, and she will formally inaugurate today's event. Over to you, Elvira.
Thank you, Lloyd, and welcome to the 2020 Climate Finals. It feels very special to be hosting this online. It is a little awkward for all of us, so bear with us during the next 2 hours where we are presenting 15 excellent finalists from a body of 200 really outstanding proposals that we received from 60 countries. It was quite an effort to decide which are the strongest, but we think that we have collected a very good group to show off today. But this is not only about you watching something. We want something from you. What we want from you is your attention. What we want from you is your engagement to really help all of us to scale these ideas, to advance them, to bring them forward. So what is required is expertise. It is a helping hand because these are all enterprises that have invested already a lot, that have to tackle many tasks at once. They require funding. So if you are an investor, if you are a family office, if you are a bank, please open your pockets. This is a two-way street today. But what I want to highlight with that is we have the solutions available. We can find these good ideas and these enterprises. We just need to nourish it. We need to bring it to the next scale. And this is what we try to achieve as the Green for Growth Fund with this climate competition today. And many others are engaged in this field as well, and we are partnering with these initiatives. There cannot be enough awareness, there cannot be enough efforts to pave the way for these ideas to really, really advance and scale up. So thank you for being with us. In order to really make it worthwhile for all of these enterprises to pitch to such a big audience and to put in all of the work, please spread the word, help to really push these enterprises and these projects forward. Thanks to the entire team, and with that I will hand over to Lloyd to lead us through the program. Again, a big thanks from Finance in Motion for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Elvira, and I can only echo your thoughts that it was very inspiring to see the range of entries and also the breadth of the ideas that were presented. I think it shows a lot of energy that the businesses are showing to pursue these innovative ideas. But before we really kick off, I would like to recognize the partners who have supported the climate competition in finding all these innovative ideas. More than 30 partners have supported us through their networks, and I'm sure many of the competitors who will be presenting their ideas today came to us through one of our partners, so we're very appreciative of that. Also, I'd like to introduce the jury. You'll see them later when they're asking their questions. But just to start off, it's good to see the impressive range of skills and knowledge that they bring to the competition today. First off is Christoph Deutschgens. He's the CEO of PEM Motion, a leading authority on the future of mobility. They have a lot of experience working with startups and industry partners, so they know just what it takes for an idea to flourish. They've also lived this themselves. They're a spin-off from the University of Aachen just 6 years ago. In the meantime, they've grown to over 100 experts. So they really bring a great perspective to a competition like this. Next up, we have Maria Gross. She's the Managing Director of German Tech, a one-stop collaboration shop for startups that brings together actors across a universe of public, private, and social spheres to unlock potential and influence change. They have a focus on digital transformation and ecosystems, and they've worked with a large network of prominent industry and government partners. Next up is Sebastian Martin. He's the founder of the Impact Collective. Prior to that, he had about 20 years of experience in the banking industry, holding various positions in innovation management. He founded the Impact Collective to support startups with a clear impact on society's pressing challenges. And he also manages an impact investment club, which is established to bring angel investors together to pre-seed impact startups. Next up, we have Manuela Cunabrito. She's the co-founder of the Good Tech Lab, a research and innovation firm which explores the frontiers of technology and system entrepreneurship. The lab covers a huge range of different technologies, and they're experts in saying which ideas will really make a difference in reversing climate change. So I think that's a great perspective for today's topics. Last but not least, we'd like to welcome Derya Özadyalgi. She's the head of sustainable finance from Garanti Bank in Turkey. They're a partner of the Green for Growth Fund, so we've worked with them for many years. And they're a committed supporter of entrepreneurship and innovation through their own initiatives and accelerated programs. So many thanks to Daria and all of the jury members who are joining us today. So on to the competition. We have 15 finalists from 13 countries around the world. More than half the finalists have presented solutions in resource efficiency and circular economy, and as well as a compelling set of applications on sustainable energy. This shows that these solutions are really gaining traction and becoming a real alternative to drive impact. Just to explain the format a bit, there'll be 15 pitches, each for about 3 minutes, and that'll be followed by a round of questions from the jury, also about 3 minutes. So in practice, there'll be, say, 2 to 3 questions per pitch. The jury members will then score in real time on an online form, which will allow us to gather together all the results of the competition. So with that, you don't want to hear from me anymore, so I'll turn it over to my colleague, Lachlan Cameron, manager at Finance and Motion, who will now introduce the competitors. Thank you.
So I'm very excited to get started and welcome our first entrant, Beyond Leather, from Denmark, whose name already gives you a sense of the pervasive sustainability challenge that they're tackling.
Hi, I'm Mikael, co-founder of Beyond Leather Materials, and I will show you that waste can be beautiful. The fashion industry today is responsible for 10% of the worldwide greenhouse gas emissions. That is more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. And using leather makes the most part of these 10%, because leather is the most polluting material you can use in fashion, and you don't have a real sustainable alternative to it. You can go with number 1, traditional leather, which is based on animal skin, requires highly polluting chemicals, not sustainable. You can go with synthetic leather, based on plastics, not sustainable. You can go with current bio-leather solutions, too expensive, and they don't feel and look like leather, not a real alternative. So 3 years ago, we have found a new option, apple pulp. That is everything that is left over after pressing apples to produce juice and/or cider. It's a highly available, untapped resource that requires no harmful tanning process. And we have developed a patent-pending process. With that, we can turn this ugly waste here into a beautiful leather alternative. We can produce this almost CO2 neutral, and our material looks and feels just like leather. We provide this leather alternative as a B2B supplier. We turn waste into leather in just 1 day, while traditional leather takes up to 45 days. We can produce so efficient that we can sell it with a gross margin of 60%. And our patent is built that we can use all kind of different food waste. We are not limited to the apple. And the global leather supplier market is huge and in rapid changing mode. Traditional leather will be replaced by alternatives due to its bad side effects. By 2030, 9 out of 10 leather goods sold worldwide will be animal-free. And of course, in such a highly changing market, there are competitors out there. But we will have the best solution because we are the only ones who are not adding plastics into the material. So we have the most eco-friendly option. And we have the most scalable alternative because we require only 5 kilograms of this pulp to create 1 square meter of our apple leather. And there are 600 million kilograms of this pulp available just in the EU. Last year in October, we have started to sell our first samples. We have now pilot agreements in place, we have gathered strong R&D partners around us, and we have filed our first patent, which protects the process and the product. And the industry is confirming what we are seeing. All of these companies have reached out to us in need for a new leather alternative. And our strongest asset to supply them such an alternative is our super diverse team. None of us comes from the same country, none of us has the same background, which leads to new ideas and perspectives every day. So let's create a game changer together. Thanks. Hello, thanks for having me.
Hi, Michael. Thank you very much for your presentation. Amazing product. I just start with a question. You predicted the market for the leather and the synthetic leather and your version of the leather. How did you do that for 2030?
Sure. We have different sources where we can predict like how the market will shift, and you can already see some indicators that last year in the US prices for leather dropped, and so for the skin itself, so the skin itself gets less valuable, and you can also see that there are more and more alternatives coming out there. And synthetic leather, so you often know vegan leather, which is often just plastic, is just way cheaper to produce, and it's just like getting out there faster. And also like the predictions, what we also base it on is that we will consume less meat over the years. I mean, in the ideal world, right, we don't have any, like we would use the cattle-free breeding that we have, so you have also less skin. So it's just like the next logical step as well. And that's also why there's so much pressure to find an alternative for it. But I can share the sources maybe afterwards if you're interested via email.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, also from my side, Michael, it was very interesting. For me, it was new to see that the textile industry has such a huge CO2 footprint, so it was very interesting. My question is also tackling the market perspective. What's the price difference between your product and synthetic leather? I mean, I see the gross margin, which looks good, but what's the price difference per kilo at the end?
Good question. So leather, the price for leather, we lead the first, like based on the quality. So we are in a more high-end section. So we start, just to give you a number, with around 50 euros per square meter, which is competitive to other solutions out there that are in a way similar like ours. But you can get like a good quality leather for an average 35 euros per square meter. So we're higher, we're not super far away, but it's on the setup we will have established now. And when we scale, we already plan to reduce the price to 30 euros and also drop the costs. And also, like as I said, we have different, the patent is built that we can use all kind of fruit waste. So we can offer different product lines which are more for the standard market to get the volume out, but also more for the high exclusive market. So we can really defer. So the idea is that we go like in the next 3 years, we will be on pair for the price what you pay for leather.
And maybe I have a quick question, which is, how is your scaling strategy? Do you plan to have like fabrics close to wherever you have the juice production of apples, or is it something that will be centralized in one specific location?
Mm-hmm. So we started a moment in Copenhagen. We're building our pilot production right now. And we will go where in that case, the apple is. So we want to keep the transportation costs low. They are for costs, but also environmental costs. So when we go to the US, we want to have a factory in the US. But also there's the idea that a lot of clothes in Europe are made in Portugal. So it would make sense to get also our material closer there. So we can reduce the costs again for environmentally in that case. And also we do everything in-house. We're not outsourcing the production. We're doing that for the reason that we want to learn how to scale it faster and better, and also keep then basically the margin for us to develop new products over time. I also have like just a little leather piece here, just so that you can see we're working on the flexibility and the strength, and it's like in strength almost as leather already. So the idea is also, just didn't ask, but like it should be at least as good as leather. You shouldn't compromise the quality. It should just be not an animal-based leather or plastic-based.
Thank you very much, Michael, and thank you to the jury.
Thank you.
Okay.
Turning a favoured Turkish drink into a circular business lies at the centre of Compromise Composites innovation, as they'll now explain.
Hello, my name is Fulden Gencer Boyacı and I'm from Istanbul, Turkey. I work as a material researcher in Compose, and today I will explain you what we do. We Turkish people produce and drink a lot of tea. This puts us on top of the list for tea consumption and fifth for production worldwide. Each year, factories generate more than 60,000 tons of tea fiber waste at the end of the production process. These fibers are everything except tea leaves we drink. To get rid of these fibers, factories either burn them or leave them to rot, and this creates a massive problem. To overcome the problems we are facing, we produce different biocomposites from tea fibers for different use. Our math is simple. To create our biocomposites, we are taking tea fibers in several ways, such as turning them into powder or using it as fibers, and combine them with different binders in different ratios we developed over the years with countless trials. For the result of the process, we collect different biocomposites ready to transform into products. We tried several end products with our biocomposites and pushed the limits for the proportion of tea fibers. We have created 3 different biocomposites, and in some, tea fibers can go up to 90%. There are several natural fibers can be used like tea, but tea has the best features for several points. First, we don't cut additional trees to collect fibers. We are using an end product of a process. It costs very low. Since we collect tea from the same area like our pre-production line, we are cutting from transportation costs. And finally, these fibers contain only small amounts of moisture, and this saves us from an initial process for drying. Our team is effective. We have knowledge on what we do and we love what we are creating. Tea is in our culture, and using it to the fullest is very important to us. We met several people from several sectors throughout our journey. We are collaborating with universities, tea producers, and companies from several industries. In 2019, we won the Social Benefit Award from Mercedes-Benz Turkey, and we started developing automotive parts in collaboration. While our collaboration continues, we have dreams for the upcoming years, and we want to turn them into reality. And to accomplish these dreams, we need support. Our pre-production line has a grinder, a sieve, and a mixer. Their approximate capacity is 20 tons per month. Now, we need different machines to grow our production line and our capacity, and after that, make trials with different fibers other than tea in the future. Thank you.
Maybe I can start. Thank you for this presentation. Can you tell us a little bit about how you can protect your IP?
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone, again. We applied for a patent and we are waiting for the result. It will be, at the beginning, it will be only in Turkey. And if we can increase our production, then we want to make it further to Europe or maybe in other countries in the future. But also we have another patent for a name in one of our biocomposites, so we own the copyright of the name. But for the patent, we approved already and waiting for the result.
Okay. Thank you.
And maybe also I can ask a second question. Very nice to meet you, Fulda.
Nice to meet you.
So my question is related to the collection process, because the biggest problem is usually on collecting biomass. We have seen many cases where the collection becomes a real pain after a while. If you are, for instance, paying the farmers, then it's okay. But if you are not, then after a while, you know, it becomes really difficult and creates a supply risk.
Yeah, for that case, we also applied for the approval for collecting the tea. After we get that document, every factory should give the tea fibers to us. So we already applied for it as well and waiting for the result. Unfortunately, because of these times, it has to stop for a moment. But after that, each factory in Turkey, which produces tea and also automatically produces the fibers, should give every fiber to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have to pay for that fiber, or do you get it for free?
For now, we are getting for free, but if not, for the other case, it costs very, very low. Since they are thinking in producing it as a waste, they're not thinking much as a quality product, so they're turning them into waste and they're leaving to rot. So yeah, we are getting it free for now, but like I said, for Mrs. Diana's question, in the future, we still want to continue taking it for free, so yeah.
I have a question from congratulations for the product. It really seems very interesting. And can you give some examples of applications that you already have? And also, as I understand that it's almost 90% composed of fibers, but is it biodegradable as well, and under which conditions?
Yeah, I have several of the samples with me. We have this glass, which has 150 grams of the biocomposite, and this as well as you can use as a pot. We are not producing the end product, but we produce the biocomposite itself, but we wanted to try to see how it goes. And also I have this automotive part. We are mostly collaborating for the automotive parts as well. And all of them are biodegradable in different sense, but this is also from tea fibers. And this is a result from our collaboration with Mercedes-Benz and BASF. And we try to use some biodegradable binders. Since fibers are biodegradable, it's okay. But also when we choose the binders, we are trying to use it in that sense as well. This can degrade. I don't want to say an exact time period, but it can degrade between 40 to 50 years, which is actually better than pure plastics. But each and every one of the sample has different ratios and different quantities of tea, so it depends on which type do you use.
Thank you very much, Fulden, and thank you to the jury again.
Thank you.
Our next solution from Manyfolds in Germany rethinks the way we order online and could be arriving on your doorstep soon if they have their way.
Hi, my name is Frank.
And my name is Götz. We are Manyfolds from Munich, Germany.
And we do eco-friendly, size-optimized shipping packaging.
Imagine you're a small e-tailer like Bob here, and the topic that really annoys you and your customers is the shipping packaging. The storage of the cartons is expensive. The filling materials cost a lot of money. And the cartons never fit to the ordered goods. So Bob takes the boxes that are too large and then starts it with filling material. On average, there's 50% air in the boxes. If there's too little filling material, many goods break during transport. That's really expensive. And the customer goes, they don't want all this. Angry customers are bad ratings, and that is really expensive.
Manyfolds drastically simplifies packaging. Bob only needs to focus on his goods and his customers, not on how to package the goods, because that's what Manyfolds is here for. With just a few clicks in the app, the shipping goods are scanned and a perfectly fitting, size-optimized packaging pattern is generated automatically in just a few seconds. The results? Smaller, perfectly fitting packaging. Bob can choose to produce the packaging himself instantly with a compact rental machine provided by Manyfolds, or whether he uses the Manyfolds online production service. He's happy. No plastic, no need for big storage space, and he even saves money. The app is free, the machine is a rental, and Bob just pays for the material he uses. And Bob's customers are happy. The unboxing finally feels good again. Recycling is so much easier. It's almost zero waste packaging. The market for shipping packaging is not just huge, it is just gigantic. But currently, it comes with a dark side. The main pain is the inefficient delivery of all those boxes that are much too big. This is where we come in. Our main magic is the environmental impact in the last mile. With about 40% less packaged air, we save about 200 grams of CO2 per shipping packaging, and almost half of the delivery trucks. And on top of that, with our digital packaging data, logistics services can pack the delivery trucks much more efficiently. We have a highly experienced small team to make all that happen. Our shared vision is to establish manifolds as the single point of access for size-optimized, eco-friendly shipping packaging for everyone worldwide. And we have already started. Are you in for the ride to disrupt the whole industry? After an angel invest, we need 600,000 euro seed investment to make it a reality. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Yes, maybe I can jump in. Oh, sorry, yeah. Maria, go first.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much. Very interesting solution. Definitely a problem that I guess we can all relate to. How many machines did you already rent out to small e-commerces? Or do most of them yet order and you produce it for them, the packaging?
Yes.
Because if I understood it right, there are two kind of possibilities for me as an e-commerce to get to the right packaging, right?
We started with the central production, so you can order online. Our pilot customers can order online our system, and then the perfect size packaging is produced in their software, and then we produce it for them in our central production station. The small little machine, that will come later in next year. So we have a prototype already of that machine, and then with the next funding, we will do the series production for this small machine.
Thank you.
And maybe to add on Maria's question, because she mentioned small e-commerce, is that the ideal customer, or can you elaborate a little bit? What's the ideal customer for your solution? Because I guess Zalando or Amazon would not probably be the target group, right?
So the ideal customer is somebody who's shipping 20 to 50 packages a day, but if you have another box, you can scale it up to 150 to 200 packages a day. And the interesting thing is that we can ship different sized goods with the perfect box. So it doesn't matter whether you want a surfboard or a small piece, you always get the perfect box, which is just the right size. So even the normal e-commerce customer, e-commerce retailer could use that, but also small, medium enterprises if they ship other goods.
Actually, we'll be helping small and medium-sized enterprises, small retailers, for example, in the cities. They come to us and we are currently asked, when can we have this machine, or when could we have this product? Because due to the Corona crisis and the aftermath of it, they have to engage in online trading, even the stationary local retailers, and they have to have a very automated and simple packaging solution, and this is what we can provide.
Okay, thank you.
I would assume to scale up the leasing model of the smaller machines to a large variety of customers is an essential issue. Yeah. Have you already put some thoughts on how to finance scaling up with those machines? I mean, you have to pre-finance all of that to do the leasing. Have you put some thoughts on that?
Yeah. So the interesting thing is the machine actually, because we own the entire system, I mean the planning, the data, the material transport, everything, the machine is highly optimized for all materials, so the production is quite cheap. We are targeting 2,000, 2,500 euros per machine. So that means that there are possibilities to, for example, for leasing, sell and lease back, for example, as a model, or the other opportunity, the other thing is that we if you use the machine regularly as a customer, we as Manifolds can finance the machine quite easily within 3 months, 4 months.
I have a last question, and I'm not sure if we have the time for it, but if we do, you mentioned that you can reduce in 40% the size of the packaging, which is definitely extremely impactful for transportation and its emissions. The image that you've shown with the two kind of jelly gems, it's super beautiful for the packaging, but it doesn't give me the impression that it's actually reducing the package. How do you make this comparison to other types of packaging? And do you have like a proprietary software or machine learning thing where you use to take the images of the product and then create the packaging that it's ideal fit, and then you compare how would it go with a different type of packaging format?
Oh, yeah. So depending, if you ship small objects to 40%, that's a little bit tricky because we have a minimum security distance on each side, which is 20 millimeters, to make sure that it's secure. So the larger the package is, the more air we reduce. Yeah. So that's a very important and crucial point. Also, always keep in mind, if something breaks on the transport, you have to ship it back as well. So we try to eliminate this shipping back due to breaks during transport.
Right. So it's an overall, it's an average sum up. So normally the vendors, they have just 3 to 5 different sizes of boxes. So they just take a box they have in stock and then they stuff it with, filler material. And this is all eliminated with manifolds. We don't need any filler material anymore. So this is the core system is much more air efficient or package efficient.
Thank you very much then to the colleagues from Manifolds and again to the jury.
Thank you. Thank you.
What many households throw away would be better used to power your car. Biodiesel Miser from Egypt are taking on this challenge in one of the world's biggest markets.
Hi everyone, this is Dalila and this is Mahmoud, and we at Biodiesel Miser are waste energy producers. 2.2 billion liters is the amount of cooking oil consumed by Egyptians every year. This is enough energy to run electricity in Cairo for 6 months, and it's equivalent to 5 million trees planted annually from greenhouse gas savings. Used cooking oil could be a nightmare when not treated properly. It could end up in the sewage system, destroying millions of fortunes, or it could be constantly reused, risking millions of lives. But we're looking at a massive opportunity here. We at Biodiesel Miser, we collect the used cooking oil, we recycle it, and produce high-quality biodiesel.
From a falafel corner in Cairo to Mercedes-Benz in Munich, that's how we actually do it. We collect every waste available and transform it into very high-quality biodiesel fuel. Then we send it in containers to our clients in Europe. Our list of clients include major players in the gas and oil industry: Cargill, Nordester, Shell, ExxonMobil, Sunoil, Biodiesel. And this is how we collect it, and this is how we end up with a very high-quality biodiesel fuel. Our market is huge, 14.2 million tons being traded annually. The European market is a regulative-driven market. The blending mandate is 7%, and it's increasing 1% annually. The African market is a price-driven market where a landlocked country suffers from very high prices of gas and oil. In 2016, BDM being nominated by Forbes Middle East as one of the top 20 startups in the region with $800,000 in revenues. 2017, we doubled the numbers of the employees and we quadruple time of the revenues, 1.6 almost. 2018, we have 1,500 collectors being employed by the company, and we kept the growing in sales and revenue, 2.6 million being achieved. In the first quarter of 2019, we sold 1 million revenues. Then, unfortunately, in the midnight of 13th of March, a massive fire hit the plant and destroyed everything. We thought that we lost everything, but our entrepreneurship, our entrepreneur nerve, and we never give up slogan, that's what we used. We rebuilt everything from the beginning. We managed to do it in 15 months. In the next 15 months, we kept the entire team alive, kept the team and the network of the used cooking oil alive, while the R&D team was running hard day and night to achieve state-of-the-art new technology to be rebuilt and remanufactured. In June 2020, we completed the rebuilding and we signed a contract to free shipping the products again to Europe. This is the team behind the scene. This is Biodiesel Miser.
Hi, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you for the presentation, and congratulations to this amazing story. Having everything burned down to the ground and then building it from scratch, that's really entrepreneurial thinking. So congrats to that. What is your plan when it comes to scaling again? You mentioned some big customers and clients already.
Yes.
So how will it go on 2021 and further?
Regarding the futuristic look to the market, it's related to somehow to the consumption of gas and oil, and we now see that the market is very huge. It's 14.2 million tons. Our max production represent maybe 0.0005%. So we have, as we mentioned in the presentation, we have two drivers that drive our market: the European market, where is the mandate, and the African market, where is the price. So at the moment, we are satisfying all our clients in Europe because we are producing very high quality fuel and we send it to Europe, and we are looking directly to the African market. We have 3 or 4 investors very interested to build new biodiesel plants in African countries.
And if I may, I have one question. Thank you for the presentation. So how do you think the market will evolve, taking into consideration the developments on electric cars front? And also, do you think it will completely change your landscape because all the incentive mechanisms and costs will change? So how do you see that in the future?
Yeah, of course. The AV cars and electric new generations, this is related to passengers cars, which represent almost 3% or to 5% from the industry shape. Because till today, there is no marine engines switch it to electricity. There is no commercial trucks. There is no commercial trains switch it to electricity. The diesel is power, and the diesel used to power the heavy consumers and the heavy duty consumer network, like power plants, like trains, like vessels. So you cannot rely on electricity. Maybe in the future, in the next 5 to 10 years, we hear about commercial trucks like prototypes. But for passengers cars, yes, it's part of the market, it's 3%, but the major piece of the market is still out there.
Yeah. I have a question. I was very curious on this. Do you recycle everything, or is there some leftovers? And if there are leftovers, what are you doing and how you care for this?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you, Sebastian. So yes, we are zero waste, 100%. We collect the used cooking oil, we produce biodiesel. Out of the biodiesel, we used to find crude glycerine. But according to our R&D team, we built a new technology to become multi-feedstock. We take this crude glycerine, we use it again in the front of the process. So we are zero waste. We don't have any emissions. We don't have any industrial waste. We have nothing. And by the way, we hold the International Sustainability Criteria of Carbon, the ISCC Europe. This is a certificate given by the European R&D RED department, so to certify that all our process is according to the European specs.
Thanks.
And the innovation that you have, it lies on the process of transforming this cooking oil into the biodiesel. If someone else that had important expertise in the field would like to do similar things, what would be the key thing that you would do different and that would prevent others from copying the same model and the infrastructure that you already have now?
Yeah, the entry barrier, if I understand it well, Manuela, it's a mix of expertise. It's like how you collect the stuff, how you treat the stuff, how you deliver on time to your customers. Don't forget that fuel is a very critical product. You cannot send one batch out of spec to a giant player like Shell or ExxonMobil, it could destroy your car. So quality is the name of the game. This is our main barrier, that we produce quality that by any way cannot be changed. So I believe there's a bunch of criteria you have to achieve and mix them together to create a single entry barrier, which is reliability, the biodiesel industry reliability.
Okay, thank you to all the colleagues.
Thank you.
We need new ways of feeding livestock and aquaculture if we want to make them more sustainable. To tell you about their approach, here is Iko Dudu from Kenya.
Hi, I'm Adan Mohammed. I'm the co-founder of Iko Dudu Kenya. At Iko Dudu, we rear the insects known as the black soldier fly as a source of protein to feed our animals. Our food system is inefficient. Diminishing protein sources to feed our animals is driving up costs, putting many farmers out of business. Fertilizer is not readily available, and this drives up costs, leading to low yields. Further along the food chain, close to 30% of produced food is wasted. At Iko Dudu, we have a double-blade solution for these problems. We train farmers to grow our fly larvae, which convert organic waste in their neighborhoods to organic fertilizer. We then buy back the grown larvae and fertilizer, process the larvae, and resell to feed manufacturers. We enrich the fertilizer and subsequently sell it to distributors. Our farmers can now make an extra income while supporting local communities and industries. We are trying to replace soy meal and fish meal, which have harmful effects on the ecosystem and have limited supply. On the other hand, insect protein supply is sustainable and will continue improving with a growing population. This is evidenced by the growth in our production capacity over the last year. We have hit revenues of 175,000 USD in financial year 2019, and we are on target to hit 200,000 this year due to disruptions in traditional feed supply chains. We are looking to raise 100,000 this year to onboard farmers into our program, and 850,000 next year to scale and digitize our supply chain. We have a fantastic mix of young, energetic founders and highly experienced advisors in our team to make the company's vision a reality. We've been able to secure investments, partnerships, and press coverage for our efforts. Please join us in making our food system to be more resilient using insects. As we say, insects are the future. Thank you.
Hi, Adam. Congratulations for the company. I have one quick question is about the market, like the local market, because I know that in certain areas, for instance, in Europe, you sometimes have a barrier, like a legal barrier in terms of feeding insects, even for animal consumption. So is it something that you also face in Africa? And when you consider the size of the market, are you considering that in your own country, or are you seeing it globally, and the idea is also to export the production elsewhere?
Thank you very much, Manuela, for the question. Yeah, in terms of the regulations, especially in Kenya and Uganda, the regulations are really flexible. So we actually have the obligation of using any kind of waste that we want, any type of post-consumer waste. If you compare it to Europe, for example, you need to have pre-consumer wastes for you to operate such a business. In terms of the addressable market right now, we're trying to address the East African region as a whole, and we're looking to scale to this whole of Africa as we keep on scaling. The reason why we chose Africa is because it's actually, according to statistics, it is the fastest growing animal feed sector in the world, with a current growth of 8% per annum in terms of compounded feeds that are produced.
It would be interesting for me is to understand a little bit better your value chain. So do you need high investment central production facilities where you need to collect a lot of waste, or can you do it very decentralized? So how does it look like? How do you get your waste? How does the production facility look like, and how much investment is needed for that?
Yep. Thank you very much. That's a very good question. So we actually started out with a centralized system whereby we collect all the waste from, for example, the urban areas. It's transported to sites, but we saw that this is not actually a really scalable model, and we would require high investment, especially in assets. So what we tried a different model whereby we decentralized the production system. Now we're going where the waste is being produced and setting up centers, production centers next to that waste. For example, we go to breweries that are producing a lot of brewery waste, and we get into partnerships with them, and we set up an insect production facility next to their facility. So this way, we have been able to scale to multiple locations within 1 year. And as I can say, beginning of this, from the beginning of this year to right now, we've scaled to 11 locations.
Okay, if no one has a question, I'd like to add up one topic, Gila. What is the your differentiator in that process? So can anyone do that, or is there a certain technology used there, or something you have developed for the process that is unique?
Yeah, so we've actually developed our breeding system. We've actually been able to use it in-house, so we don't disclose that to the farmers. And we've actually patented that, the breeding system. What we provide to the farmers is actually the larvae that they use to feed to their own waste streams. So in terms of protecting the key technology, we do that in-house, and they've been able to use that to our advantage.
Another question that I have is, how do you ensure the quality of the product that is produced in a decentralized way?
Yeah, so first, before onboarding a farmer, what we do is we do proper training, and along the supply chain, we also collect a lot of data on the type of waste they're actually getting into the farm. So we do have guys who do site visits to check on the type of waste they actually feeding to the insects. And another thing is also, before we come and collect the products, we also do a product check at the farm level before we actually off-take it.
Great. Thank you very much, Adan, and then also for the questions.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Having been in India last year during some of the worst of the air pollution, I could experience firsthand the urgent problem that Agri Power is working to solve.
Hello everybody, I'm Sukhmeet. I am the founder of the company A2P Energy. Every year in North India, 35 million tons of straw is burned, which causes severe air pollution. Delhi, which is the capital of India, has become the most polluted capital because of this smog problem from stubble burning. And also it has impacted the health of especially the younger population. Annually, it causes a loss of $30 billion to the Indian economy. What we do is we work with farmers on straw collection and then convert that into different kind of fuels. Our first generation fuels is for replacement of fuel in the boilers, and we have worked with Pepsi and Unilever on that. Our next generation biofuel, specifically the green coal, we are replacing the fossil fuel in the national thermal power plants, and also started an interesting project with UNDP on powering a standalone building using biomass power. Some of the pictures of our operation, machinery, and straw collected. India is a growing energy market. In our state, we have a more than $1 billion industrial fuel market, and in India, it's close to 84 billion per year. We are focusing the whole of Asian market where the stubble burning problem is. From a supply perspective, we have 35 million tons of straw available. The first step is how do we collect the straw because it's distributed. We used AI on satellite images and then identify the straw which we want to collect and then work with farmers to automate that, and which has helped us to reduce our operational cost for collection. We started in 2018. In the short time period, we established 4 manufacturing facilities and currently are scaling up our green coal facility. Our target next year is to expand to 10 new facilities and also focus a lot on R&D on our next generation biofuels. At each manufacturing plant, we identify the key metrics which we track in terms of employment generation, fossil fuel displaced, and what is the air pollution we have saved. We have a strong team, a mix of technical background, operational background, and a close to 100 years of total work ex. We also have people who have scaled up social businesses earlier. Because of the strong team we have been and good operations on the ground, we have been recognized both from Prime Minister's office and Vice President office in India. We also are the winners of Global Makers Challenge last year. We have strong international tie-ups and national tie-ups with a lot of R&D institutes. On the right-hand side, you can see some. Plus, we have got, again, a lot of awards at international level in terms of climate launchpad or working with UNDP. We have been fairly covered in press, more than 30 press articles, including BBC. What we are aiming to do is raise approximately 2.6 million, which will help us to scale up our green technologies and also help improve farmers' income because of the stubble we buy. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. It is nice to meet you over here. I have one question related to the impact of it. So the technology that you are using is now only incineration, I guess. And compared to the baseline, which is, I think burning the straw, you have reached a number which you showed in the slide, I guess. So how do you make sure the baseline is 100% burning? Because in incineration technology, when we look at the positive impact, if the baseline scenario is not 100% burning, then it's not too much.
Okay, thanks for the question. As you have seen our product line, so we have multiple lines of products. So first, when we marketed our products, the first set of products were called first generation fuels, which were a replacement of wood or coal in the boilers. So we worked a lot with some of the bigger multinationals like Pepsi, Unilever to see what kind of boilers it will work and what is the efficiency levels. So we measured in terms of efficiency of the heating, plus also the output in terms of how much emissions it's reducing. So these were our first generation fuels. After that, we have now advanced our fuel lines. We actually make green coal now out of that. So green coal can actually replace, so we're working with National Thermal Power Plant to replace the conventional coal with our green coal. So there are very strict guidelines in terms of how much calorific value we can give, how much grindability index, what is the emission level. So our fuel now is categorized as green fuel as a replacement for the fossil fuels.
And can you give us as well an idea about the price comparing to, yeah.
Okay, so the price, so this is a very competitive market. Though we work with very good brand names like Pepsi, Unilever, but when we go to procurement managers, the first question is, what is the price per heating value, which is the calorific value. So what we do is we actually give the same amount of heating value which a coal is giving at a 10% or a 15% less value, so that the procurement manager is happy that he's able to reduce the fuel cost, and other hand the senior management is also happy that one is able to reduce the open field stubble burning and also have a big impact on reducing the air pollution. Here I'd also like to say that, why big brand names work with us, because instead of farmers burning the stubble, we now work with farmers to buy their waste. It's also a 15% annual increase in the farmer's income.
Maybe one question on your scalability. What's your plans there? And maybe also elaborate in very short, what's your biggest challenge to scale?
So biggest challenge, so the plan to scale is to 10 new plants next year, covering 4 industrial zones what we have in our state, so that we are able to serve all the industrial zones. Also we are putting a lot of money in the R&D to advanced biofuels, which I mentioned, oil and coal. The biggest challenge has been till date is raising of the funds. Most of the VCs we have met all focus on return on investment, and India being a growing economy, we have a lot of companies which can give very high ROI instantly. So ours is a much more capital intensive business. So that has been a challenge to get funding for growth.
Okay, thank you very much then, Sukhmeet, and also for the questions.
Thank you.
E-mobility makes the most sense when the power source is green. Here to tell you about their solution is C4 from Serbia.
Hello, I'm Tamara.
And I'm Milos.
And we are here to show you holistic solutions we designed for the future.
This winter, Belgrade was the most polluted city in Europe. Our energy companies and politicians are working on reduction of emissions and implementation of renewable energy. The whole world is fighting to save our planet, but there are not enough new and smart initiatives for meeting the strict targets.
The current solutions are not integrated and multi-beneficial, so they cause other problems, and they do not help us meet the goals.
Here are some bad examples. Solar power plant in the middle of the forest.
And this is the biggest polluted landfill in Serbia. Perhaps there are some opportunities.
Methane is even worse than CO2 and is burning into the atmosphere at the oil fields.
Each of these issues is damaging our ecosystem, and our team is challenged by these problems.
We want to combine solutions so that we have a multi-beneficial outcome of every innovation we make. We can have a win-win-win implementation.
This is an example of how we cut the grass and we save the fuel. We integrated better use of agricultural land with renewable energy production.
What can we do with the waste dump you saw? We can extract energy from landfill gas and incinerate waste. From this waste, we get energy for 6,000 houses a year in Belgrade.
And cars pollute the air, the parking lots take a huge space. Can we use these urban spaces better?
Let us show you our key project. We showed you earlier the field with solar panels. Let us now combine parking lots, solar panels, and EV chargers.
Imagine all the IKEA car park covered with solar panels. The energy produced here equals the consumption of 2,000 houses a year. So we integrated this solution into the infrastructure, and IKEA could be zero energy and CO2 neutral.
So parking lots are land banks waiting to be turned into something else. Imagine all bigger car park lots in Europe, at shopping malls, retail parks, warehouses, and production facilities, covered with solar panels. That will be equivalent to the energy capacity of whole Balkan region.
This dashboard shows the multi-flow energy to the public, and we want to make this solution very visible and to engage our clients and users. If green energy is not used for EV chargers, it is consumed by facilities or fed back to the grid.
Our solutions bring holistic benefits. Our vision is to change the legislation in Serbia and around the world. Our solutions will help meeting the environmental targets.
And these are our key partners. But we have been working with many more, and together we implement holistic energy solutions.
We want to be #1 in innovating energy solutions. We want to go into new markets and take new challenges. So join us on the journey to cleaner future.
Thank you.
Hi guys, thank you very much for your presentation. What I didn't understand, or maybe you can elaborate on that, the product of building these solar panels to parking lots and other spaces, is that the main product? Or
can I answer? Yeah.
You say that you want to do innovation. We all want to do innovation, but can you specify it a little bit?
We have been involved in different projects that we showed you in first few slides, and we changed the previous use of these problems into something new, innovating the better use of energy and transferring it into the green energy. Our key project that we presented or this presentation is basically creating a solutions for a big problem that we have with the parking spaces. For example, just one New York have 1.9 million spaces, Seattle 2.2 million. Europe, whole Europe has enormous parking spaces which are not used in a proper way. So we want to offer with this our product, our design, and our solution, and as well to raise awareness.
Yeah, if I can add there, yes, we realize that we have to change the way we think about the space. And if we want to use this space better, and especially parking lots, as we think they are not energy or environmentally friendly, we need to show people how that could work. That is our example with these carports. But furthermore, we really want to make this as a part of legislation in not only in this country, but the whole region or Europe or the whole world, so that people are obliged, companies or residential blocks, investors are obliged to think differently about the space and make these solutions about the space more multi-beneficial for the society.
So how did
Maybe I'll just have another, because the one thing that I still don't get is, so who is your client? What is the business model? I mean, does IKEA pay you, or do you sell the energy then? And if you sell it to whom, and how is the business model?
Yeah, we have two different business models. We are producing these carports as we designed them, and this is one stream of the income that we can do. So we can basically offer these products, and we did already offer this product to different users. You saw that ZF already implemented our solution in front of their parking. We have constant communication with IKEA as well, and they're thinking about changing the use of parking slots in different ways. So we are giving them a solution to change their way of thinking about the space that they are using or misusing. The other way of income is as well a leasing process. So we can basically be the investors, or we can find the investors. That's why we are here, who will implement their funding capacities into building large spaces covered with solar carports and EV chargers. And then we can sell as well through the models electricity to the facility, or to payment terminals, so EV chargers for using the green energy for fueling up their batteries, not an energy that comes from fossil fuels.
That might actually be all of our question time, unless someone has a really burning short question. I would have to move on.
Thank you.
Okay, then thank you to the colleagues, and thank you to the jury. How do you tackle the challenge of recycling if the national system maybe isn't doing enough? Live, Love, Recycle from Lebanon will now tell you about their approach.
Hello, I'm Josh from Beirut, Lebanon, and today I will be sharing with you my journey with Live, Love, Recycle. In 2015, our streets in Beirut were literally flooded in garbage and trash. We as citizens wanted to recycle, but we didn't know how to sort our waste and where to send them after being sorted. So we had an idea. We created an application where with a simple click, you can request a pickup, a driver will come, collect your recyclable, and take them to the nearest recycling facility. As easy as this. We started to find funds for 3 years, until we met the BMZ and WFP, the World Food Programme. Together, we managed to create 436 jobs for people from vulnerable communities, including 20 women who are cooking daily for them. We also bought an entire fleet of electrical vehicles, which allowed our drivers to tour Beirut and collect recyclable from households. 2 years later, after many people told us that no one will use our service to recycle, we are now serving more than 20,000 persons in Beirut, And together, we managed to collect around 500 tons of recyclable that were going to end in our landfills and in the Mediterranean Sea. We also managed to raise in less than a month 80,000 USD on Kickstarter. We were honored to be featured in many media across the world. We have also won several awards in Lebanon and abroad. So you might tell me that, and I believed also that this is a local, only a local issue. But actually, 2 years later, so we discovered that there are more than 3 billion persons in the world who don't have access to a recycling service. And today we are producing 70 tons of waste. And by 2015, if we don't do anything, 2050, if we don't do anything, this amount will double. We all know also that more than 90% of the plastic being produced in the world is not being recycled. Even in countries developed such as Germany, the recycling rate, which has the highest rate recycling in Europe, the recycling rate of plastic is around 30 to 40%. So definitely there is something to be done. And we believe that our platform could help tackle this issue. We want, with your support, to create the first crowdsourced recycling platform that will link together all the stakeholders of the recycling process, enabling them to communicate together to make recycling easier to everyone. Thank you for listening.
Hello. Hello. Hi, George. Hello. Thanks very much. I have a question on how you incentivize people to participate in the beginning to recycle, because I can guess that for many people this is not like an urgent basic need.
Definitely. So as I said, in 2015 we had a huge government crisis that changed somehow the mentality of Lebanese, and we had the garbage in the street, so we had to start recycling. But of course there were a lot of people who weren't aware of recycling, so we decided to keep the service free for almost 2 years. And that's how we reached out and by letting the service free, we were able to communicate with them, to teach them how to sort. We were able to give them tips and kind of teach them on how to properly sort their waste. So.
Yeah. So thank you again for the presentation. I have a follow-up question. Not directly related to the supply problem, but is there a regulational framework in the country in terms of waste separation programs? So is about the competitive landscape.
Okay, we do have a company that collect all the waste, but they don't sort it. And even so, in countries which have a proper recycling facility, what do they do? It's not easy to recycle properly. You have to take your glass somewhere. You have to take your electronics somewhere. You have to take your old clothes somewhere. So it's not really standardized. It's not really a standard. So with our system, you can put all your recyclable together. It can be used oil. It can be electronics. It can be anything that can be recycled. Like we have seen now, two previous people who are pitching. They want to collect the teas. They don't know where to find them. Or maybe they know, but they don't have the proper collection to collect this leaf tea, or even the cooked using used oil from households. So our system can connect all the stakeholders together. It can connect the household or the businesses who want to recycle with the best collector. So who has the right mean of transportation to reduce even the CO2. So we won't send a big truck for a small household who has only 2 bags, and we will send it directly to the nearest recycling facility that is the nearest available recycling facility. So we want to create a market for recycling, and we want to go furthermore and not only plastic and paper and glass. We want really to find new solutions like the one that were pitched just before me, like I said, tea and used cooking oil.
Yeah, thank you. One more question from my side. As I understand correctly, your business case basically being the platform connecting waste to people who can actually work with it or who do recycling. Now, what would be the differentiation if the competitor comes up with a more attractive service fee? What can be a differentiator of your platform?
We do have competitors in Lebanon. As I said, we have the national waste where everyone can go and drop off their waste, but it's not sorted. So and it's not sorted, and we don't even know where it goes. So with our technology, we can track where our recyclables are going. We can have feedback on the way we are sorting. Even you can scan any product; it will tell you how you should sort it. And it can create also different market. Like in France, I can recycle the hair. I don't know if you know about it, but you can recycle hair even and do new product with them. You can I know there is a new legislation in Europe regarding the toys, how to properly recycle toys. So we can also scan any toys. It will tell you how it should be sorted and where it should go. Same for the clothes and all different. So not only we're connecting people, we're trying to create a new market and a new source of raw material, or what we call waste. But for us, it's not waste, it's raw materials that can be used to do something else. And
thank you very much, George, and thank you very much to the jury. I'd like to welcome Cold Hubs from Nigeria, which offers an innovative way to get more produce from the field to the consumer.
Hi everyone. Over the next few minutes, I will present Cold Hubs and the work we are doing. But first of all, as a means of introduction, my name is Nnameki Kewuonu. I'm a farmer, a radio presenter, and a social entrepreneur. I founded the Smallholders Foundation in 2003 as a non-profit that uses radio to educate and inform smallholder farmers in Nigeria. Actually spending 70% of my time as a radio broadcaster going around trying to identify challenges and opportunities within the agricultural space as it affects smallholder farmers. And it was in the course of my travels that I discovered the problem that in Nigeria, 45% of food spoils due to lack of cold storage at key points within the food supply chain. And this affects 93 million smallholder farmers who lose 25% of their income, but also reduces the net availability of safe, nutritious food for consumption by the Nigerian population. In 2015, I founded Cold Hubs as a company that builds, commissions, and operates 100% solar-powered walk-in cold rooms in farms, produce aggregation centers, and in outdoor markets. And the goal of Cold Hubs is to extend the shelf life of food from 2 days to 21 days so that farmers and retailers can have more opportunity to sell their produce. And our revenue model at Cold Hubs is very simple. We charge 50 US cents equivalent to store 120 kilogram plastic crate inside the cold room every day. Over the past 3 years, we deployed 24 Cold Hubs with 30 more under construction. In 2019, we saved 20,400 tons of food from spoilage. We've been able to sign up 3,517 farmers, retailers, and wholesalers and increase their income from $60 US to $120 US. We created 28 new jobs for women by recruiting and training them to work as our hub operators and market attendants. And we're able to save 462,000 kilograms of CO2 by using solar panels for power generation instead of diesel generators. The roadmap for Cold Hubs is to scale. We are now planning to deploy up to 10,000 Cold Hubs all across Nigeria, not only for the fresh fruit and vegetable sector, but for fish, meat, and dairy to serve 200 million Nigerians. The team behind Cold Hubs includes myself as founder and CEO. I'm supported by Bright, our Chief Operating Officer, by Maxwell, who actually builds and maintains the hubs, and Teres, who runs our finance and administration. We came to Climb App because we want to demonstrate Cold Hubs as a 100% green cooling solution that has climate, social, and economic benefits. At the same time, we are looking for partners who will support our scale across Nigeria. We strongly believe that we will be able to attract partners who can help us raise additional funding to deploy 100 more cold rooms in 2022. In a nutshell, that is Cold Hubs. My email address is nnameka@coldhubs.com. I can be reached on phone. Please visit the Cold Hub website. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you very much for the presentation. I like that you took the experience from your travels to create that idea. Now, what would be interesting is to understand what is the investment for one code hub to understand better the business case, but also the scalability.
Yeah, you know, at the moment, it's estimated that about 70,000 metric tons of food is lost in Nigeria every year, and all across the food value chain. And Cold Hubs is trying to deploy as much solar-powered cold storage as possible. The scale for Cold Hubs, first of all, is to sustain the Nigerian market where we have 200 million people, but we are also being approached all across Africa. So we intend to expand to East Africa and possibly to other countries in West Africa and also Southern Africa. But really, the demand for cold storage is huge in Nigeria, and we want to meet that demand before stepping out of this country.
Well, I clearly see the demand. What would be the investment for one cold hub?
One cold hub costs $27,000 to put together, and at 50 cents equivalent, if you can, that cold room takes up to 3 tons of food, 150 plastic crates. If you can fill it up from day one, you can break even from that initial capex in 12 months. The salary for the hub operator is relatively about 120 US dollar every month, you know, and also the cost of communication per hub, because you need to monitor remotely what is going on across the cold room, is about 20 US dollar every month, you know. So the challenge is to fill up that cold room and hit 100% utilization from day one, which is 150 crates. It's very difficult because we are pioneering a technology, and there's a lot of education and opening the cold room so that people can actually try and see.
Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate a little bit on the maintenance needs that you have? Because I can imagine if you have something like 100, 200 cold hubs all spread all over the place, this increases the complexity of operations quite heavily.
It's going to increase the complexity of operations heavily. So we are investing in information and communication so that we can remotely monitor every cold hub and maintain it over time. So each cold room can be monitored. There are 6 sensors, daily solar irradiation, daily ambient temperature, battery state of charge, number of times the door has been opened, cold room temperature, and a small video camera that takes pictures and stores in Microsoft Azure, showing us the volume of storage inside the cold room daily. You know, with these 6 monitoring devices, you can actually remotely preempt what is going on at each cold room and decide maintenance. Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, I have one small question. How do you ensure the security of the stations? So you don't have one personnel waiting all the time for each station, I guess. And given the, you know, expensive equipment that you are using, like solar panels, how do you ensure this?
So, you know, when we said that we wanted to build cold drops at every place in Nigeria, but we also had that challenge of security where sometimes a little bit of equipment are vandalized. So we decided to only move to farm clusters, produce aggregation centers, and marketplaces that has a level of security. So we just plug into an existing security network. You know, most of the markets have their security arrangements. Most of the farm clusters have their own security network. Same applies to the produce aggregation centers. So the moment we come, if they are paying for instance, 2,000 Naira monthly for security, we just plug in and continue paying for that, you know, once we step into a new site. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nemeka, and thank you to the jury. When you think of the term the Internet of Things, you might think of smart refrigerators or doorbells, but our next entrant, Forest Guard from Armenia, is applying the idea of connected devices to a much more important topic.
You all remember the last emergencies when the rainforests in Amazon, California, Australia, Africa were burning, causing children breathing problems, millions of dollars of losses, and even human deaths. That happened because no one could detect fire on time. So Forest Guard is a smart IoT sensor system for forests, which detects and prevents illegal logging and wildfire and sends the coordinates on the map. So we have a worldwide problem, and for example, in the last 2 years, Armenia lost its 13% of forest areas. The United States lost almost 19 billion acres of rainforests because of wildfires. So for this problem, we have a solution, sensors which are located on the trees and recognizing change of sound, heat increase, smoke, and in case of emergency, when there is fire or illegal logging happening, they are sending the clear coordinates on the map. The innovation part is that the sensors can operate up to 6 years, which is 12 times longer than all the other monitoring systems can work. This is our product, which will be located on the trees. Luckily, we have a local market, which is a $7 million market. And in case if our customers will want us to do also the service, this number will be increased 2-3 times. In case of scaling up, our first and the biggest market is $400 billion United States market. So Forest Guard is offering anti-logging and anti-fire sensor system to private forest owners, to governments by $2,200 for covering each 100 hectare, which will operate 6 years. Did you know that every 7 seconds, an equivalent of a football field of forest is vanishing on Earth? So Forest Guard has huge climate and social impact to prevent this awful deforestation rate. For example, only in Armenia, Forest Guard can save 150,000 trees, can give $4.5 million savings to our government, and will save 18 million tons of oxygen annually. So Forest Guard is 2 times cheaper compared with competitor systems, is 12 times energy efficient because it works 6 years. It covers 2 times bigger area and needs 2 times less devices. In other words, Forest Guard can cover 2 times bigger forest with 2 times less price. We already are on the final stage of signing contract with our Armenian government, and next we will be negotiating with the US, with Brazil, and with German governments. We want to establish microcontroller development in Armenia and to build a network of people in environmental field in both public and private sector. Because of that, we need a great team. We are microelectronic engineers and Java backend frontend developers who are making the sensors in one of the regions of Armenia and connecting the sensor with the web interface and with the servers of Forest Guard. And we have a great mentor from Spain who is living in Armenia and helping us in finding people who are interested in this project. Thank you.
Hi, Svetlana. I guess that maybe you already mentioned that, but just to make sure, did you already have one signed contract with the government of Armenia? And one of the reasoning behind this question is that the very tough part with GovTech is being able to provide solutions for governments, especially in different countries, because regulation is very tough, and usually you have to have a very strong company with, you know, the big size of revenues and this kind of things to be able to provide public services, especially depending on the country. I'm considering Brazil here as for an example. And I suppose that also for the market that you considered like the size of the forests, both private and public, but not exactly those that are already being covered by one specific type of solution. So just to make sure that that is the case for the 2 points. And if you already consider that issue of selling for government as one maybe concern for the market.
Okay. Thank you very much. You're right. Dealing with the government, it takes time. It takes nerves. I know that. But the good thing is that dealing with the Armenian government is much more easier because the country is small and has the issues, and they are working on those issues to prevent wildfires and illegal logging. It's a big problem for our government, and luckily they know about it. And they're seeking for solutions. And we're on the final stage because this coronavirus situation delayed
this process for 2 months. And also our Minister of Environmental Ministry has resigned 2 weeks ago. So we are waiting for the new minister to sign the contract, but it will be for sure. We covered 1 kilometer square area in Armenia. It was a pilot program for 6 months. It was to collect data, and after for further, if we will want also be in a negotiation with private forest owners, we can give them the data and ensure them that we already have that installed somewhere and it worked. But currently in Armenia, we don't have any private forest owners because the whole forest area belongs to the public sector. So we want to negotiate with private forest owners when we will go, and I believe that we will go to the US first, but it will be after negotiating with the US government. Because as our government said, they will give a feedback for us, to the other governments, and that will make much more easier for us the way to reach other governments. And after that, of course, it will be much more easier to find customers in the private sector. And also I can mention that I have participated in GIST program. It is Global Innovation, Science and Innovation through Technology. It is the part of SPARK program launched by Obama some 5 years ago. And I have connections in the US State Department. That's why I mentioned that the first market in case of scaling up will be the US. And that's why we're concentrating first in the US public sector, and then after that the private sector, because we already have some connections there.
Okay, thank you very much, Svetlana. We covered a lot of ground in that question, so, but it might also be the only one we have time for, but thank you very much. What if I told you that our next entrant, Carbo Miner from Ukraine, is trying to produce more carbon dioxide? I'll let them explain how this is actually helping.
Good afternoon. I am Niko Seiko. I am from Kiev, Ukraine, and I lead the Carbo Miner project. We have a potential solution to one of our planet's most serious problems, the emissions of carbon dioxide. Most people treat carbon dioxide as a dangerous waste, and it is strongly linked to the global warming. However, there are some people that can use it for a good, and they even pay real money for CO2 as a commodity. Those people are greenhouse operators, as they use CO2 to boost growth of the plants they grow. They have to buy it, and when they do so, it comes out it's neither cheap nor climate friendly. Here, the Carbo Miner comes with our new technology for direct air capture. Our modular units can do local CO2 capturing just nearby the greenhouse, thus eliminating many parts from the CO2 total cost chain. Our product is CO2 itself, and our main advantages are, first, disruptive price, as we can sell 2 times cheaper than the market price now, and second, that we will have strong patent protection. Our business model is B2B with direct sales, and our deal is very simple. We sell locally captured CO2 to greenhouses at a very affordable price of 130 euro per ton. We have selected European greenhouse operators as our first target market, as they have more articulated pain with CO2. Spain is our main target, with 70,000 hectares of greenhouse area in one country alone. Regarding competition, we offer a locally produced, eco-friendly CO2, which is 2 times cheaper than our customers pay now and 4 times cheaper than our closest competitor, Swiss company clim can offer. Our cumulative negative potential for 20 years is almost 10 gigatons of CO2 removed from the atmosphere. This is calculated with the current worldwide greenhouse area growth of 10% per year. Just to compare, today the total annual emission is 36 gigatons. Why now? Because new president of European Commission has already declared an ambitious climate agenda to make Europe the first climate neutral continent in 30 years. We have raised the pre-seed round in January, and we are building our industrial scale prototype right now. We are going to put it into pilot testing in July, and we are going to raise the seed round in August. To do so, we have a very good team of 3 people with various experiences, consisting of Vika for marketing, Mike for technology, and myself as a CEO. As you can see, we are more or less on a good track, but it would be stupid to say we don't need new partners. So that's why we are here. Thank you for your attention.
Hi, Nick. Thank you for the presentation. So I learned that you're about to pilot, but can you tell us a little bit what is already there and what makes you so optimistic that all your plans will come true?
Thank you for the question, Sebastian. We have made 2 prototypes up to now. One was the tabletop prototype, the small one, with not all good economics. And the prototype, the recent prototype we made and tested is already with a good economics. We are comfortably fit within our target cost of carbon dioxide. So that's why we are more or less positive and optimistic.
And one question related to the market. How is the demand, size of the market currently? Because I know that, for instance, in my country, similar technologies doesn't work because, you know, I know one of our clients, for instance, trying to sell CO2 to greenhouse gases, and they were okay to sell it for free, but they couldn't find any, you know, customers to buy it.
Okay. We have made our part of customer development. We have met with 6 greenhouse operators in Ukraine, and we have 6 very positive answers, very positive replies. They're happy to hear that there would be new technology which would provide them with the local supply of CO2 twice cheaper than they pay right now. So having in mind that Ukraine is comparatively small comparing to EU, that we think we really have, you know, good grounds to think that there is a good market.
And the 36 gigatons that you were referring to, is that in Europe or is that worldwide?
This is worldwide, but I guess this is not the most recent. Just 2 days ago, I saw the other estimation, which is 40 plus, but this is worldwide, annual.
So that means that you're telling us that you could use almost a quarter of all the CO2 that we produce worldwide?
Yes, but in 20 years, not in 1 year.
Okay, but still, that's a relatively high number.
Yes, I agree, but that's arithmetic.
Okay, thank you.
And can you give us a little hint about the energy consumption of the product itself?
For now, we have an energy consumption of 1,500 kilowatt hours per ton, and we have a space to improve. But even with this energy consumption, we are more or less within our cost.
Thank you very much then, Nick, and thank you also for the questions. Coliba from Côte d'Ivoire is not only one of the first recycling companies in the country, but also doing this in a revolutionary way. I'll let them tell you more.
Hello everyone, my name is Genesis Ehimegbe and I am the co-founder of Coliba, and we recycle plastic waste. The issue that we are facing in our country is that we produce more than 20,000 tons of plastic, 220,000 tons of plastic each year, and we have only 8% of it that is being recycled. That means 92% of this plastic are not recycled, which represent a huge environmental and sanitation problem. But we also see that as an opportunity to create jobs and reduce poverty in our community, since we have unemployment rate of 45%. And according to the Ivorian government, we can create up to 10,000 jobs in this sector. So the idea that we've come out with is to make recycling simple by using mobile technology. And how does it work? Today, you can easily download our app, you make a request, and we do the collection for free. We already have more than 23,000 people who have already downloaded our app. Once we've done that, we have a sorting and a recycling center where all these plastics are being transformed into pellets. And these pellets are being sold to the local and international market where they are being used to make other products. We also have companies paying for our collection service. The market in Ivory Coast is mainly informal, and you have to know that before us there was no structured recycling company. Meanwhile, the market is huge. It is estimated at 150 million euros, and we think that we can capture 10% of that market between our 3 years. And up to date, we've already have more than 80 people working for us, and 75% are women. And we also collect up to 2 million bottles each month. We've won local and international awards that you can see here. But the most important thing is that Coliba is a Pan-African project, and we aim to be in other countries between now and 2025. So we have the team working on this project, and we also have partners like the GSMA and MTN that we are working with. And we couldn't have done this without them. And so we say thank you for listening, and we hope to be able to collaborate with you guys.
Okay, so I have a message from Genesis that the video feed, we won't be able to see him. We have a problem with that, but let's proceed anyway, please, with the questions.
So could you please give us some information on the costs of operation and also revenues? And how does the price of, per ton of plastic compare with the competitors?
Before I start, really sorry for the video. It was, we tried our best. Really sorry for that. And to answer your question, today the cost of collection is a little bit high, which is 15% more than the selling price in Ivory Coast, which is completely normal because we still spend a lot of amount in investment in infrastructure. And what you really have to know is that in Abidjan, recycling is new. So we are rebuilding the old infrastructure that would permit us to be able to make money between now and a year time. But for now, it's new, a lot of investments to be made. But we are on the right track because last year the price of that we had was 40% higher than the price we have today, and we think that by next year we can be able to reduce the price and be able to make benefits. But that will be from next year.
Maybe I to understand this a bit better. How's the pickup organized today? Are these your drivers, employees of the companies driving company cars or bikes? Or are these also third parties that collect for you and get a certain benefit for
that? Today we don't have third parties for us. That is very simple because we tried it first, but it didn't work. So now we have collectors who are employed and who are working for us. So we have our own bikes, and we have all the infrastructure that we have today belongs to Coliba.
I understand that the biggest innovation that you have is that there was no infrastructure existing before for recycling in the country, but other than that, do you have any specific process, or where does the innovation lies?
Is using our mobile platform, because today you don't need to have bins at home for you to be able to use our platform. When you have up to 20 bottles at home, you just need to download our app, and we come and pick it up, just like Uber, Glovo, and just like any other company. We come and pick it up for free, and that is something that is not done today in Africa as a whole. We are the only company doing that, and I think that is a huge innovation for us. And what is also important is why we are using this technology, because it also allows us to get better plastic that we can recycle more easily and sell at a higher price.
Okay, thank you very much, Genesis, and thank you to the jury. Bioenergy from Egypt have built up a successful approach by dealing with a growing waste challenge in the country while also providing valuable inputs for industry. Here they are to tell you more.
Hello everyone, I'm Amr Shalan, Business Development Manager of Bioenergy. Bad waste management caused the disease outbreak in India. This caused 56 deaths and 2 billion losses to the economy. However, waste causes more problems. Waste accounts for 3% of greenhouse gas emissions, but if we look closely at sources for greenhouse gas emissions, we will find out that burning of fossil fuel to generate energy accounts for 65% of greenhouse gas emissions. Waste and energy are correlated problems. Our goal at Bioenergy is to convert waste into energy. Our energy product is called refuse-derived fuel. The product is from left to right. We sort by normal house waste. First, we separate recyclables. Second, we separate organic fraction. What are remaining are non-recyclable items, trash items that we convert into very valuable fuel. This is a real picture of our RDF production line. RDF has an advantage of being abundant, environmentally friendly, and cheaper than fossil fuel. We make money mainly through selling RDF to cement companies. Also, injecting industrial waste into our production line is a good revenue stream. However, selling recyclables and organic fertilizer are minority revenue streams. Through partnering with multinational groups, we were able to achieve 10x growth over the past 5 years with $2.5 million last year in revenue. This happened through having 7 projects in 3 different countries. At Bioenergy, we have been focusing on the treatment sector and the waste management industry. However, this year in 2020, we are expanding horizontally and vertically. On a horizontal level, we successfully expanded to the transportation sector and the disposal sector in Egypt and in UAE. On a vertical level, we expanded our RDF production capacity. We signed a contract with the biggest construction company in Egypt to build a waste to electricity facility. We also innovated a new product to convert waste into building material. Next year, we will continue our horizontal expansion. On a vertical level, we will build an RDF facility in UAE. Our waste to electricity facility will be in construction phase, and our building materials from waste will be in the market. By 2022, our waste to electricity facility in Egypt and our RDF facility in UAE will be in operation. Our target markets are waste to electricity market and RDF market. We are targeting 20% of waste to electricity market and 30% of the RDF market by 2022. This will be our sales revenue by 2022. This jump is due to entering the waste to electricity market. Without Bioenergy, more than 800,000 tons of waste were gone to the landfill, generating more than 140 million cubic meters of methane. Without Bioenergy, cement companies would have generated more than 88 million cubic meters of carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuel. With Bioenergy, waste is fueling the future.
Hello, congratulations for the work. I have 2 quick questions. The first one is about the quality of the fertilizer that you actually produce, like the compost that you produce. If you have feedback from the farmers that are using that, like who is buying this product, and if it's of high quality, because I understand that the sorting of the material is automated, and so sometimes it can be a tricky part.
Okay. Actually, compost is not our core product, but we are dealing with local farmers. We are not dealing with companies. We are dealing with local farmers who come to our plant to carry the compost. We are not focusing on the compost side to make it the best quality compost ever, because it's not our core product, but it's a good revenue stream.
What would be interesting to understand a bit better is the innovation, the technology innovation that you have in your process. So what's new in your process to generate those, or what you make out of the waste?
You are asking about the process?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's the innovation, the technology in that process that is new?
The technology itself is in the sorting lines for, okay. So where is the innovation? First, we start by sourcing a good waste with certain characteristics in order to be able to generate fuel from this waste. Second, we have our own sorting lines. We design these lines, we build them. And then at the end, we have a machine that converts the non-recyclable items into refuse derived fuel. This machine is a shredder machine. So we can say that the innovation is a combination between different things, a combination between the operational excellence, combination between a network with waste sources, and combination between having a relationship with multinational groups, cement groups. So it's a combination, it's not one thing. It's not a single idea.
Then it seems like the presentation was clear to the jury, and I would like to say thanks to the colleagues for the time.
Thanks.
Our next entrant, Lombrisol from Morocco, collects, treats and recovers organic waste using bioreactors, but you may be surprised to discover that at the heart of the process is something familiar to all of us.
Hi, I'm Marine Zenzan from Agadir, Morocco, and I'm the marketing manager of Lombrisol, which consists to the production of biofertilizers from different bio-waste using the power of earthworms. Currently, most companies use this continuous vermicomposting, which consumes energy and time. Therefore, our company or our project propose a magic bioreactor with a continuous vermicomposting, with a continuous process and an automatic system to control different parameters. So, how does this admirable bioreactor work? To start vermicomposting, the first stage is to feed the earthworms with the first layer of bio-waste, and gradually we add other layers using the hopper, which permit the movement of earthworms from the degraded layer to the fresh one, and practically after 15 days, we recuperate the vermicompost produced using the scraper, and we collect them into a box through the conveyor belt. The main product of Lombrisol is the production of machines bioreactor for a continuous vermicompost, and in fact, a majority of farmers who are our final client think that an eco-friendly product with a high quality means a high price, which is not always true, because in our company we use as a raw material the waste of restaurants, hotels, and agriculture, which costs only the fees of their transport. Therefore, if a client wants our services, they have just to contact us. In terms of competitors, in Morocco, there are two companies that produce compost. However, in Agadir, located in the south of Morocco, we are the only company that produces vermicompost using a bioreactor. Moreover, Agadir is known as an agricultural region where the farmers spend or consume 70 million euros per year for biofertilizers. In other words, this gives us the opportunity to be the leader of the market for a different category of clients. And Lombrisol is an economical, sustainable, and ecological solution resulting in the creation of green job, reduction in the use of chemical pesticides, etc. And in order to have a good performance of our company, our team is composed of young and motivated researchers with different specialties and different functions. And as a vision, we want to expand our work product to different partners for producing organic waste around the world. Thank you for your attention.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm not sure if I got it right. What exactly is the product that you're selling to the farmers? Are you selling the end product, or are you selling the machines that?
In fact, we can sell both of them. The vermicompost as a biofertilizer, or a machine which is a bioreactor. We can sell it or lease in it. So it depends on what the final customer wants. And also we have other services like consulting or accompanying with the farmers, etc.
Mariam, you said that your continued solution is better than the discontinued. Can you elaborate a little bit? What is in terms of better? Is it a better quality of the fertilizer? Is it quicker or?
Among the advantage of our bioreactor or our continuous vermicompost is that as you said, is quicker. So it's easily to have the final product, and it's continuously, which means that you can put your waste, and for example, after 50 days you can have the final product. While for the discontinuous vermicomposting, you should have a lot of time, and until you have a big quantity of the final product. And also there are other advantages of our bioreactor, such as we have a bottle which can collect the data in a real time. Even you are far of the farmer, for example, over the unit, you can control different parameters such as the temperature, pH, etc. And it can send you as a signal or as an alarm if there is any problem with your machine or your process.
Thank you.
You said earlier that you're following both revenue streams, so selling the fertilizer, but also selling the machines. Regarding the machines, which is probably the more scalable one, who's actually your customer for those machines, and how do you currently build up your sales channel to get to those customers?
So our final product is the farmers who can benefit from our biofertilizers, and if they want to produce their own biofertilizers, they can buy our bioreactor, even if it's a little bit expensive. If it's the case, they can leasing our bioreactor. It depends on their choices.
Okay, thank you very much then, Mariam, and also to the jury for the questions.
Thank you.
Our last entrant tackles the challenge of wasting less and getting more out of unused food. This makes a lot of sense, but it's challenging in practice. Whole Surplus from Turkey are here to tell you about their solution.
Hello everyone, greetings from Istanbul. This is Pamir from Whole Surplus, working as a project manager. Our journey started 3 years ago with one important goal: to create value out of unsold inventory. Europe Food Waste Number and sustainability goals address the problem. Our co-founder pointed out this problem during his career at Unilever Food Solutions and founded Whole Surplus. Applying food recovery hierarchy helps businesses to gain financial, social, and environmental benefits from surplus food. In order to achieve that, we created a partner ecosystem and a marketplace with donating, recycling, and reselling modules and data analytics to reduce waste at the source for our partners. We work as a digital surplus management department for different business verticals, such as retailers, producers, and distributors. Companies upload details about their surplus food. Our system decides which module would be the best based on financial, social, and environmental benefits. Our system matches the surplus food with the right partner who offers the highest value. Logistics support and payment solutions are provided to companies, and of course, all legal documents regarding to the operations are kept in e-archive. By that, we create a transparent, effective, and a traceable process for all the stakeholders in our partner ecosystem. Our analytics insights help businesses to recreate their sales and purchasing strategies if there's a lack or a necessity. For instance, one of our partners, Metro Cash & Carry, uses those reports to inform their global headquarters. Our tailor-made business model helped us with 600% growth in the past 3 years. At the end of 2020, we aim to reach 1.9 million euros revenue. We love our competitors because, we're trying to reach the same goal, to ensure sustainability. However, we also know our differences when it comes to holistic approach. We have created a unique partner ecosystem with core and complementary services from donation to recycling, from IoT tracking to payment solutions. We spread our operations to all over Turkey with global brands. Our executive team consists of 8 with relevant job expertises and, of course, academic backgrounds. Our journey started with 3 and now we are 33. What we achieved so far, we saved 3,100 hippopotamus weight of food, prevented 1,400 great whales absorbed carbon during their lives, donated food to full of 3.5 Camp Nou stadium people, and brought the amount of surplus food of 1 year food expense of Uruguay. Economic and social impact of food waste in Europe is obvious. We aim to bring our impact with all the best practices that we achieved in Turkey. Thank you.
Hello all. I think you're not that tired to ask questions and hear the answers, but yeah, I'm ready for you guys.
Thank you very much. You go ahead.
Okay, you go ahead. I'm waiting.
Ladies first. Ladies first. I'm here. I'm here. I'm waiting for your questions.
You see, there are so many questions.
In order.
How do you work together with the other players that you mentioned? I mean, there are food waste has been a topic in the field of entrepreneurship and startups since many years. Why is your solution different? How do you cooperate with the other ones, and why will you make it and not only create another island solution for one region?
I'm having a connection problem right now. Yes, I'm so sorry guys because of the connection. You just asked that what's your differentiated point when you compare it with your competitors, right? First thing is we know that there are really good startups in Europe who are trying to solve kind of the same problem, but the approach is really different because in Turkey we just created this 360 degrees of waste management cycle with different partners. But when you compare with other competitors in Europe, they just only focus on 1 or 2 verticals, like they just only focus on donation or they just focus on the reselling modules, but they don't have the holistic approach that we have. And the other thing is the partner ecosystem that we created. We know that asset liability brings lots of disadvantages, because that's why we don't want to to create their own processes, but rather than this, we're partnering with those companies and create a better value when you compare it with the competitors.
I see you from left to right. I would say, Sebastian, you had a question.
I guess what's the time until you turn over the food? So you get food on your platform, and how quickly is that transformed or delivered, donated?
Yes, actually, the answer changes from module to module, because in the donation module, producers or those big like metro cash and carry chains, they just give us the products that are like near to expire date, so we have to be really fast when it goes for the donation. So it changed geographically because Turkey is really big, but we have different food bank partners around the Turkey. So for donation, I can say 1 or 2 days approximately, but for resale or other modules, up to 3 or 4 days, I can say that.
Thanks. Okay, and maybe Delia, if you also had a question, I believe.
My question is covered. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, we would have time for one more.
Yeah, my question My question would have been, how many partners do you already have connected to the platform?
In Turkey, it's over, I don't know, 55, 56. But from now on, we're trying to find new partners in Europe. That's why I'm here, actually.
And I would say thank you very much, Pamir, and thank you again to the jury also for all the questions that we had today.
Again, sorry for the interruption, guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much to all 15 of the finalists. I have to say, for me at least, it was a very impressive set of presentations today, and we heard a lot of innovative business ideas. I know 2 hours is a long time to be on the phone, but hopefully all of our participants online were able to stick with us. And I promise I'll only speak for a few minutes, and then we'll have the presentation of the finalists and the winners from the jury members. But first, I'd like to again thank our partners. As I mentioned at the beginning, we had 30 plus partners who supported the climate competition, particularly in getting the word out through their networks. I would also like to give special mention to the European Union through their EU for Energy program and the German government through the Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. Those two institutions were the key financial sponsors of today's event. So we couldn't do this without them and without all of our partners. While we wait for the votes to be tabulated, I would just like to introduce a new program that the Green for Growth Fund Technical Assistance Facility is rolling out. This is in specific response to the current COVID crisis. So we recognize that while everyone is affected, in particular startups and early stage companies are very much impacted by this. It can be very disruptive to their businesses and actually even threaten their ability to continue. So because we want to see these companies move forward and lead the green recovery after the pandemic, we're introducing our early stage green innovation support program. And this will provide grant support to early stage startups, in particular limited to those institutions that have been competitors in the 2018 or the 2020 climate competition. And we have to limit it, of course, to our regions of operation. So this will only be open to those climate competitors who are also situated in one of our countries of operation. The team will reach out to you to discuss with you potential ideas and participation in this program, but we hope that you'll be able to take advantage of it and really that this will get you through these difficult months so that when we reach the end of this crisis, all of you can be there to push forward the green agenda. But in the meantime, I'm told now that the judges have finished their selections, and we can now move over and hear who are the winners of today's competition.
So I think we're all online, and we can now announce the first prize, right? Well, so first of all, I'd like to say that it was a big honor to be part of this jury, and I was very excited about all the companies that presented. It's very high quality and very difficult to make a choice. But for the 5th place, and with the 2,500 euro prize, the jury has selected Biodiesel Miser, which is producing high-quality biodiesel with used cooked oil as a feedstock. And that's incredible. They shared also the story of resilience and entrepreneurship. So we are very proud to select them as the 5th winner.
Yeah, and thanks from my side as well for the great organization, for all the startups, the courage to present themselves. And as Manuela said, it's only a few can get the prize, but I think all the startups shown that they are highly innovative. And for the 1st place and a 2,500 euro prize, the jury has selected Manifolds. And Manifold's solution promises a size optimized and eco-friendly shipping packaging. And in a world of fast-growing online commerce with increasing opportunities for small online shops, every retailer needs a smart and eco-friendly packaging solution. So the jury was very impressed by the technological innovation. We saw a big business potential, not only limited in Germany, where Manifolds has its roots, but also international. And on top, there is a positive impact on reducing CO2 because less air or plastic foil in packages means smaller packages. That means more packages can be delivered with one truck. So well-deserved 4th place, and wish you all the best. Congratulations to Frank and Sebastian from Manifolds.
Also, thank you. It was an honor to be part of this jury, listening to all your pitches, and I wish you very well, especially in these hard times, but listening to these pitches also was very encouraging, and also listening to Lloyd, who told us about the new program. It's amazing that there is still so much startup support going on. Take advantage of that, and yeah, stay as entrepreneurial as you are. That was really impressive. And for the third place winner and the prize of 5,000 euros, I'm happy to announce the winner, Whole Surplus. Whole Surplus convinced us with their very holistic approach to cooperate with different stakeholders to fight food waste, which is still a major problem in our world today. And congratulations.
Okay, also from my side, first of all, it has been a great pleasure to join this conference. And it has been really an amazing journey around the whole world with startups from so many countries. And this actually brings me to the winner of the second place, because they created their idea for their startup during many journeys around their country, talking to the people, discussing their challenges, and came up with the idea for a startup. So for the second place and a 10,000 euro prize, the jury has selected Code Hubs. Congratulations. Food waste, as we've heard before, is one of the key topics today, and Code Hub has created a smart solution to prevent it. The Code Hub is an independent cooling system that offers decentralized cooling storage, and we very much like the sustainable design of the product, very smart solutions for supervision and maintenance, and as well as the potential business case. So congratulations, Code Hub, and all the best in scaling up your idea.
Well, I'll have to take over, I guess, the the role of announcing the grand prize winners. So I'm very sorry to have to do that, Dalia. It should have been your honor, but on your behalf, I will announce that Beyond Leather is the first place winner of the 2020 climate competition. I think everyone was very impressed with the concept and also the idea of replacing animal-based leather with a high-quality non-plastic product. So yes, the award goes to Beyond Leather, and I think we'll now hear a few words from Michiel, the founder of the company. Well, okay, so Michiel, he's visually thanking us, and yeah, so sorry that we're having these last-minute technical difficulties. We did so well for over 2 hours. Everything worked almost flawlessly, but yeah, it's not over till it's over, right? So. But I definitely want to certainly extend my great thanks to the jury. You guys did a great job, and we very much appreciated your input and questions. Certainly a big thank you to all 15 of the finalists. As a reminder, everyone who we saw today was already a finalist. So we started off with 200 competitors and narrowed it down to the ones you saw today. And then, of course, the 5 winners led by Beyond Leather. So congratulations to all of the competitors. Again, a big thanks to our partners and supporters, including the EU and the German government. Just a note, there will be a recording of this available online. So this will be available for people who want to view it subsequently. I don't know if technically we can even include a message from Michiel in the final online version, but let's see what we can do with that. But the idea, of course, of putting this online is not just to watch ourselves again, but also to further spread the messages of today and also give the competitors a chance to really use those pitches to try to build their own businesses, the 5 finalists and all the winners. And to all the online participants, thank you very much. We hope that you got a lot out of today's conversations, maybe some new thoughts for new innovations. And we really hope that you will, as Elvira said, actively reach out to some of the companies that were featured today and hopefully help them move their businesses forward. So with that, I'll wrap up and say to everyone, thanks again, and we hope to see you in 2022, maybe in person, maybe online. Let's see how that goes. But again, thanks to everybody, and have a great week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Congratulations to winners.